This video will show the steps that you need to do in order to set up a journal for reflections in your Mahara ePortfolio account and to share that journal with an instructor or someone else. The thing to remember about your portfolio space is that all the materials that you put into it, your documents, images, presentations, journal reflections, all of that stuff is private to you until you decide to assemble that material onto portfolio pages, which you can then share, determine how you're going to share those out. So, to set up a journal for reflections to share with your instructor, there are a couple of steps you'll need to go through. You'll need to set up a page, share it with your instructor, create a journal, and put that journal onto the page that you've shared. Here we are logged in to the Mahara system at portfolios.purchase.edu. We're logged in here as a demo student. So the first step would be to create that page that you want to share with your instructor, that you're going to be putting your journal onto. From the dashboard page here at the front, you can click on the link to go into your portfolio pages. And once you're there, you should see your dashboard page and profile page. Everyone has those pages. So to create a new page, clearly you want to click on the Create Page button. And I'll call this First Year Seminar Reflections. I can add a page description if I want to, but that's not critical. You can decide down the road what name you want to use on your account and what name then to put onto the page you're creating. I'm going to hit Save to create that page. And right now I've got an empty page. In this case, we're only going to be putting a journal onto that page, which we haven't created yet. But this just shows you some of the different kinds of materials you can bundle together, you can collect onto your portfolio pages. So the portfolio can be much more than just a journal. One thing to note is that by default, the layout for portfolio pages comes up in a 3-column kind of format because the idea is that you would be bundling lots of different things together. In this case, we're only going to have a journal on the page. So I'm going to go into Edit Layout, and rather than having the default 3-column format, I'm going to select just one large column so that the journal can take up the whole width of the page. And I'm going to save that. Now at this point, all I would need to do would be to drag a journal object onto the page to add my journal, but of course I haven't actually set up the journal yet. So I'm going to go back out to the dashboard, and you see from the dashboard there is this link here to publish a journal. So if you click on that, one thing to note about new accounts, if you've never worked with your Mahara account before, you by default will only have your own personal journal. And that's probably not the journal you want to share for a particular class. It'd be better to be able to create multiple journals for different classes. Well, it says here you have only one journal. If you'd like to start a second one, enable multiple journals by clicking on Account Settings. You can also get to the account settings by clicking up here at the top of the screen. So if I go to Account Settings, about halfway down the page, there is this option for multiple journals. So I'll just select that, click Save, and that preference was saved. So if I go back to the content area and click on Journals, which is the same link from the dashboard on the front page, I now have the option to create a new journal. So I'll click on that, and I'll just call it FYS Reflections. Again, you can put in a description or tags if you want to. I'll go ahead and create the journal. Now at this point I could start adding entries, but I want to go back and do a couple of things on that page that we created. So go back to Portfolio, and here's that page I created. I'm going to edit the page. Now I have the journal that I can drag onto the page. See, as I drag the item out, Mahara shows me where I can put the item. And basically you just need to select the journal. You can make the journal collapsible or not, but since it's going to be the only thing on the page, it's probably just best to leave it out. And click Save. And now I've got that reflections journal on my page that I need to share now with my instructor. So if I click Done, there's a couple of ways to share your journal page with the instructor. If you are actually on the edit screen, you'll see a tab here for sharing the page. And this shows you how you can edit the access. You could make your page public. If you have connected with other accounts on the Mahara system, you could share it with your friends. If you are in groups, you could share it with your groups. But in this case, I'm going to share it with an instructor that I've not connected with yet. So I need to open up this Share with Users option and select Users and search for my instructor's name. And find the account for my instructor, click on the little plus sign here, and Mahara will tell you that you have added access for your instructor to this page. And click Save. And now if you look on the Shared by Me, which lists all of your portfolio pages that you have shared, this first year seminar reflections has been shared with your instructor. So now you've got a journal. It's empty, but it's on a page that you shared with your instructor. So if you go back to that journal by clicking on Content Journals, you can view your journal. You see there are no entries. Click Add a New Entry. Give your reflection a title. Mahara gives you a fairly standard kind of editor. You can type in text, you can format that text, you can do bulleted or numbered lists, you can add images, you can create links, and so forth. So here's my first reflection. Pretty boring so far. You can attach files to your posts. So if I wanted to add a file, I could go and find the file that I want to add. So maybe my CV. I can upload that file. I could attach an image. I could attach a PowerPoint presentation, whatever kinds of materials that I wanted to attach to the journal post. There are a couple of different ways of adding images. So here's an online image. And I can just, so say I wanted to take this reflective learning model that I found on the internet and add it into my journal entry. I could copy that address, click on the insert image icon, paste in the image URL. It'll tell me how big it is. I could, make it left or right aligned if I want to wrap the text around. I could put a border around it and insert the image. You see that image then shows up. One little tip here: if you're running out of space to work on your entry, you can click this toggle full screen mode, and then you've got a larger space to edit. That image that I attached to my post, I can actually embed it into the post as well. So if I go back and click insert image, rather than putting in a URL for an image on the web, I can refer to that image that I uploaded. Again, insert that. If I wanted to link, here's some good material on reflective learning, I could select the material that I want to link, come over here and get the web page that I want to link to, and click on the link tool. I'll just have that show up in a new window rather than having it replace my portfolio when someone's looking at it. And go out of full screen mode. You've got your reflection post written. You've got your files attached. Save entry, and now it shows up here as an entry on your journal. And if you look at the portfolio page that you have shared with your instructor, then that reflection will show up there as well. So you should be all set. That's really all it is to it.